Item 2.0, the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda. Mr. Percy.
So moved.
I have a motion on the consent agenda. Do I have a second? I have a second, Mrs. Bush.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? Mrs. Fisher?
I would like to pull L and S, please.
L and S. Okay. And Ms. Starr?
I'd like to pull A, J, and J, please.
Okay. And is there anybody else? Okay, seeing none, so I will put the motion out there for approval of B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, M, N, O, P, Q, R. A motion to approve. All in favor? And that's unanimous. Okay, Ms. Fisher, you pulled up letters L and S. I'll give you the floor first.
Okay. L is policy number 4112.6, personnel records. On the last page, last sentence, before the legal references, it says all other personnel files, it says all contain, it should say shall contain items 1 and 4. It's just a typo. And then on item S, which is policy number 4120, I do have some legal references that should be added to that, which I can just share with Trish later.
Okay, so the motion, I assume, would be to approve policy 41126.6 for the typo fixed, and 4120 with the additional legal references.
Yes. So moved.
I have that motion. Do I have a second, Mr. Percy?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call that to a vote by show of hands. All in favor? And that's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, and Ms. Zarn, you have A and J.
4.0, under personnel, the leave of absence request, I believe that I voted, the motion was to deny the request, and I believe I voted in favor of that motion. If Trish wouldn't mind double checking that and bringing it back.
That's what happened.
Okay. And in 4.3, I think the motion, I think it should be reviewed as well. I don't think that's the motion that I made.
Mr. Percy?
I think we should table those minutes until next
Yeah,
meeting.
I was going to say, if we could do that,
I'll
table.
put motion to table those minutes till next meeting.
Motion and.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to table the minutes for A and J until the next meeting.
Just
No,
a-
just, we haven't done
Oh,
it.
that's right. Motion to table on A. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote by show of hands. All in favor? That's unanimous to table until next meeting. Okay, Ms. Sarn, you have A and J as well. Adoption of
It's certified health examinations. My question is really, the policy has not changed. I'm wondering if the superintendent or designee develops a list of categories, if that is something that does take place.
Actually, it's a board responsibility in conjunction. I'm wondering if that happened or has happened.
What's the policy number on that?
I'm sorry, 4112.4.
It's the very first sentence. It says it's a board responsibility. I don't know.
I have not seen a list or worked on one with you.
is that something that we should be doing based on our policy?
Yeah, it seems like we should have a committee for that. Yeah, it'd be an ad hoc thing on the mayor. That is something that I was unaware of requirement, and we will put together a committee for that. And I'll publish that after tonight. We'll get that out so that folks know. Ms. Sark?
So I would move to approve item J.
I have a motion to approve, Mr. Percy.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call that motion to a vote by a show of hands. All in favor? And item J is passed unanimous. Thank you. Ms. Sark, sorry.
May I ask a question about the policy 411.2? Mrs. Fisher addressed the question of the last sentence, but I'm wondering how many years the board is required to maintain files on past employees? It simply says, will maintain files for past employees.
According to the records retention policy of the state of Connecticut, which the Connecticut State Librarian publishes. So off the top of my head, I don't
Oh,
know.
okay,
This
but it is established.
Barrasso, that is an established,
Okay.
right, multi-page form that tells us how many for each particular employee, how long, for anyone, for students and staff, how long we have to keep each record.
Okay.
That's covered consent agenda. We'll move on. Item 3.0, which is the secretary's report. Item 3.1, opportunity to add or delete agenda items. Does anybody have any agenda items to add or delete? Mrs. Zark?
I'm wondering if it would be appropriate to have a quick discussion about names and addresses of students that are provided to town administration.
In what type of a context are you
Um,
thinking the conversation is going to go?
They are provided somehow to the administration, who sends out congratulatory letters to honor roll students. And I'm wondering how that comes about, how those are we obligated to share those names and addresses? That's my concern.
I would suggest that we put that out there as a future agenda item, maybe for our next meeting, to give opportunity to pull the appropriate documentation
Okay.
to satisfy the request. I'm not sure if, for some reason I thought policy had addressed this last year, but I don't have the details off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'd like to have someone pull that policy for the discussion. So,
And make that in form of a motion?
motion to have that as a future meeting. Mr. Percy, I assume second?
Yes, please.
I have a motion and a second to add a conversation regarding name and addresses being distributed to the town and our policy on that for the next meeting. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote by show of hands. All in favor? And those opposed? Show motion carries 4-3. Other, Ms. Bush?
Probably within the Secretary's report, I would like to add some information about a day on the Hill that I attended on March 6th. Probably put it as 3.3.
How about 3.3?
Thank you.
Dan, do I have a, I'm assuming you're making that in the form of a motion,
Yes.
and do I have a second on that? Ms. Fisher? Motion, Mrs. Bush, and a second, Mrs. Fisher, for adding a quick update on day and hill activities. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, call to a vote by show of hands. All in favor? Those opposed? I show one opposed. Motion carries. And that'll be item 3.3. Any, Mr. Butar?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any motion, I don't have anything else, except last Sunday, we were all at the art center meeting, and my neighbor to my left, what a talented person she is. She was just super. And I just want to let everybody know that she was just great. She's not only a great student, she's also a talented musician. And I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item 3.2, and it's going to be Lydia's turn to speak.
Hi.
Representative report, please.
So last Friday, we had the poetry competition, which I mentioned at the last meeting, and the winner was actually in the room presenting for the language course. Rachel Nutt was the winner, and it was really great. There were a lot of people, a lot of support, and some really great poetry. Also, we had the art show, which was a big hit. It was great to see a lot of the community out there, see everyone together, get to perform. It was nice to see some of you there, and it was just, I think, something really great for the community, and that will be open all month. So if you had to leave early for whatever reason, you can go and look around at your own time. It is the end of CAP week, which I know everyone besides the upperclassmen are celebrating. I know the upperclassmen will definitely miss sleeping in. And the band concert, the band and chorus concert is coming up next Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and I invite any of you to attend. Also, other good news is that our Rockville High School hockey players combined into a team with Bolton and Coventry, and they've made it to the semifinals in their division. And they're going to be competing and hopefully make it and become champions in their division. So hopefully I'll come back with more good news. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?